two, three, four.
Hi, I'm Misha. In 2010, I graduated from high school. I was 16. Didn't really know where to go or what to do. I didn't know what I wanted. One of the things that I was interested in was app development. I wanted to build iOS application. At that time, 2010, 2011, apps and smartphones were becoming more popular. I pursued a software engineering degree. After about 6 months, I started cooling down to this degree. Eventually, I almost dropped out. I was on the brink of dropping out. I reapplied. Next year, I went to another school for marketing. At that point, I was interested in advertising. I had a good friend who was a creative director at an advertising agency, so I decided, hey, I might as well just pursue a career in marketing. I then went for a student exchange in Poland. After studying there for 1 year, I came back to Ukraine. I graduated from my bachelor's and I went to do my master's in the US, in San Francisco. I came to San Francisco, I started doing my MBA. 2 years later, I graduated with an MBA diploma with concentration in marketing, with my bachelor's diploma in marketing, out with no job, frustrated. That moment when you realize that you're no longer a student with all paths in front of you, you're unemployed. Now you have to go out and look for a job. And if you didn't find a job before the time you graduated, you might as well give up because it's pretty hard at that point. Especially if you are a foreign student with no work visa and a limited time frame in which you can either find a job or go back home. That whole process of graduating and becoming no longer a student, but rather unemployed, got me thinking, all of those schools, all of those years of education actually gave me what value I got from them. From my personal experience with schools, it was 3 aspects at school that I got out of them. First of all, transition into adulthood. You know, when you graduate from high school, you're not necessarily an adult, you're not even a young adult, you're still a kid. If you are dumped right into the workplace, you will be lost. You will spend a couple of years trying to find yourself. The second aspect that colleges gave me, a decent social life. This is an aspect that's rarely considered by the people who bash education and colleges. Colleges are almost synonymous with social life and having friends after you come out of high school. Realistically, once you enter the workforce, your circle of friends, circle of people that you might hang out with becomes progressively narrower. You don't have time for anything. When you're in college, you still do have time and you're dumped into this environment with a bunch of people of your age. So you get to experience this young adulthood or teenagehood, whatever you want to call it, which is an important aspect of forming a young adult as a person. The third aspect that colleges gave me, some hard skills. There were only 3 classes that I can recall until today. These are English, math, and maybe financial analysis. Everything else besides, I could have learned myself, and I did learn most of the stuff I do in my day-to-day career. I learned it over the internet. What colleges took from me 7 years of my life, and they took a ton of my money. Nevertheless, 7 years of my life are worth more than any money that I dumped into colleges. Colleges didn't work for me, but does it really mean that they won't work for you? It depends on 4 things. First, do you know what you want to do? In many countries, including the United States, for the first several years, you don't have to choose your degree. You just go to school and this time is given to you to figure out your way in life, what you want to do, because obviously very few teenagers that just graduated from high school know what they want to do with their life. And it's normal. If you don't know what to do with your life, college is a way for you to learn about yourself and to learn about all of the paths that lie in front of you. Second thing, are you a reading, writing, visual, auditory, or kinesthetic learner? If you're a reading learner like me, you might as well just use the internet. Some people prefer to be taught, some people prefer to learn them on their own. I'm one of the second bunch. I prefer to sit down, learn on my own, and figure the stuff out as I go. The third aspect to consider, do you need a degree to work in your industry? There are industries where you do need a degree, like healthcare, education, elite military, civil engineering. But for most other majors, you don't need a degree to work in your field. Do you want to become a software or hardware engineer? You don't need to go to school for that. The school is not going to have all of the most relevant information about it, especially in the software, simply because of the nature of the field. All of the most recent updates in the industry, they pop out on the internet every day, and they won't make it into the course up until next year. Whether you're in design, marketing, entertainment, management, food and beverage, you don't need a degree for that, so you can learn it on the internet. The fourth question is, can you learn it by Googling? Yes, you can. You can learn pretty much everything today. You can even learn how to become a doctor, construction, architecture, software, design. Hundreds and thousands of professionals post every day millions of hours of videos on YouTube and all other platforms with the stuff they actually do every day. You get to learn from people who actually work in the field rather than learning from teacher at school who might have never even worked in the real world. Now you might go like, okay, I'm gonna go learn stuff on the internet, but what will the job market say? Will employers ask me about my degree? Will they be questioning my abilities because I don't have the paper? The job market says no. Google, Apple, Twitter, Facebook. If you want to work in the tech field, most of these companies have already officially dumped requirements for most of their job applications. So they don't require a degree from you anymore. If the best companies out there don't require that, that's it. Degrees are in the past. Speaking from the perspective of someone who is in the workforce, I can tell you that not even once I was asked about my degree. A degree might get you an internship, not a job. You might get a decent internship if you graduated from some really top level school. If you are graduating from an average college, your college degree is not gonna get you far. You might as well just go and apply for jobs without the degree. Once you have 6 months of work experience, recruiters don't look at your degree field in the resume anymore. It just doesn't matter anymore. 6 months of work experience is worth more than 5 years of your bachelor's degree. Don't believe me? I recently got through interview process with over 50 companies. I haven't been asked about my education even once. None of that mattered. I hope your entry into the workforce will be painless. And in case if you're a prospective student, I wish you luck with your choice. And I wish you to make a wise choice that you won't regret in the future. So take care. Today I'm tasting this little guy. It's Shieldaig. If I'm not mistaken, there's some partnership going on with Total Wine. Most of the Shieldaigs are blended scotches, or at least unknown distillery scotches, but this one says that it's a single malt from Speyside. It's a 21-year-old scotch, which is a good age. If you ever go to Total Wine, you'll see that Shieldaigs are extremely cheap for the age. Usually the way they work, they take excess whiskey from other distilleries and bottle it under the Shieldaig name. So it's kind of like getting a cat in a sack. You're not sure what you're gonna get. With this one, it's pretty. I'm pretty positive there is some sherry cask in there. It's a Speyside Scotch, which means it's gonna be floral, and I can feel these floral notes and some slight sherry notes. There's a lot of woodiness in there. Not a tremendous amount of complexity for a 21-year-old whiskey, but get what you pay for. It's in the $80 to $90 range for a 21-year-old whiskey. Hell yeah, all day, dude. It's a value. Some cream. Is it vanilla, caramel, vanilla, oak, apple? I've always been a fan of the taste of Shieldaig's. Most of their whiskeys are smoky. This one is not. There's not a hint of smoke in there. Well, and that's what's expected from a Speyside direction. It's not gonna be smoky in any capacity. It's good. It's a good whiskey. It's just not gonna blow your head off. Let me try adding some water. It's a 43% ABV, which means it's a 86 proof. It's not too low. It's just a bare minimum for this age of whiskey. Yeah. Nice.